When it comes to our periods, I reckon that Janu and I are pretty similar because we both care about sustainability, but we also care about making sure that everyone who has a period is comfortable and happy with what they are using. So we decided to swap zero waste period routines to basically see the realities of using something that isn't quite right for you, because there is so much shame around using period products that are disposable when some things just don't work for you. You guys know that I love the Menstrual Cup, so that's something that Janu is going to be using. She's also going to be using some period underwear because, you know what guys, I love it too. But Janu actually uses tampons in her period routine. So I'm going to be using tampons, and I'm going to be talking about why she specifically uses organic tampons and bleach-free, etc. So we could have also a great conversation around what's in tampons and why it's so important to choose better ones from a different company instead of using the traditional ones that have really weird stuff in them. It was surprisingly hard to find reliable research that talked about the benefits or harmful effects of certain products in tampons. One thing that did come out that everyone could definitely agree on was the use of scented products, which can cause irritation, itching, discharge, and other unpleasant symptoms according to the Mayo Clinic, and should be avoided to help prevent yeast infections according to the US Department of Health and Human Services. Other products that are usually talked about are dioxin and rayon. Dioxin is a byproduct of the process from converting wood pulp into a synthetic fibre called rayon, which is also used for fabrics. And it tends to be the bleaching process that causes concern. What I think that causes the most concern here really is the lack of research that people have done into menstrual products. And I think it shows a lack of consideration and care for what goes into the products that half the population use. So while for me the jury is still out about what is particularly harmful and what isn't, what Dr. Philip Tiano, the Director of Clinical Microbiology and Diagnostic Immunology at the New York University Medical Center says, is that cumulative effects could be considerable and possibly measurable for many years, considering how many tampons a person with their period may use over time. One thing that I love about Janu's routine is that she says that on her period she just doesn't care what she eats whatever she wants, and she just goes with what her body wants to do. And it's quite nice and refreshing to kind of give in to those, like if you do have any cravings or anything like that, because I certainly do. And there can be a lot of guilt and shame around kind of just going with your body and what it wants, and if it wants to eat, you know, everything that surrounds it, I think that's okay. I also get just super tired and sluggish. Like, I don't understand these people who can just like go and do loads of exercise and just spend loads of time doing all of this like pampering stuff. So I just absolutely love that Janu's routine is so simple and straightforward and just really kind of the fundamental self-care stuff. I just absolutely love that. You know, self-care doesn't have to be this thing that you spend loads of money on. It can be a simple face mask. It can be just eating what you want, and it can be watching your favorite film. It doesn't have to be this expensive thing that's sold to us because we have to feel a certain way when we're on our periods. And I just love the simplicity of Janu's whole routine. I love it. Even though I think people are pretty wild for doing intense or strenuous exercise on their period, I definitely love to go for at least a walk. Just getting the body moving helps in some way, I think, because my body gets quite stiff when I'm on my period. Not quite sure why, but I just feel like everything is a little bit more sore in terms of my muscles. So I always like to go for a walk, even if it's just a short walk, get out into nature and just, yeah, feel a bit better. So Janu also says that she gets pretty bad skin during her period, as do I. I get it particularly bad under my chin, which I think means it's hormonal. I don't know. But she says that she does a face mask, so I'm going to be doing a face mask this evening as I am on my period and trying to see if it makes me just feel a bit better. Even if it doesn't do too much for my skin, I'm hoping that it would just make me feel a bit better as well and just kind of help moisturize them or do whatever skincare does. Also, after Janu and I talked about swapping period routines and seeing kind of what other people get up to, I decided to watch lots of people's routines just to see what other people do, and some of the things that people do or get up to during their period is wild. I don't understand how people have the time or the energy to do this. I'm literally sleeping as much as I possibly can. when I finished working for the day, I put on a face mask, I did some reading, and I just tried to chill out. The first day of my period is always pretty heavy, so I just wanted to really take Janu's advice for her routine and just put on a face mask to try and relax, do some reading so I could just get into bed and just chill out, and basically remain immobile until the next day. Good morning. Ugh, I had really bad cramps all last night. I don't think Janu maybe gets cramps because she didn't mention anything that she does, like specifically, but man, never seems to go away. I also feel very bloated. My clothes always feel really tight, which is not fun, because I just feel a bit like even more bleh when I'm on my period. I don't understand people who feel fine on their periods. I mean, I feel sluggish and bloated and tired. I think all in all, Janu and I's period routines are pretty similar, as we are both still really focused on sustainability, whilst also trying to make sure that we are, you know, doing what's right for our bodies, what makes us feel really comfortable. And I think the only big difference is that I use a menstrual cup and she uses a tampon. And for me, one of the reasons why I just don't like using tampons, and I'm so lucky that the menstrual cup works for me, is I am honestly super lazy. I just really love being able to put a cup in and have it in there for 12 hours and then just change it once in the morning and once at night time. It makes everything so much easier for me, especially during lockdown when we were eventually allowed to see our friends and we could go to public parks and things like that, but the public toilets weren't open yet. And I was so grateful that I could use my menstrual cup with some period underwear as well, and just be safe for the whole sort of cycle there while I was there and then cycling home as well. Lots of people have different experiences with their period. I'm incredibly lucky that my period is pretty heavy on the first day, but not so heavy that I can't use a menstrual cup for sort of the allotted time that it's supposed to be used for. As I said, I feel really grateful that I don't have to change it more than once or twice a day, which is definitely not the case for other people. And with tampons, I found that I was changing it every sort of 4 to 6 hours, which doesn't seem like that much, but when you are as lazy as I am, anything to make my life a little bit more convenient definitely helps. I think throughout this whole process, the most obvious thing that came to my mind about the differences between people's period routines really just is how personal your period is and how your experience can really differ from someone else, and why it is so important that you find what's right for you and you're not ashamed to go to the shop and buy the things that you need, and you don't feel pressured to try a menstrual cup if it's just really not for you. I have been playing around with CBD oil for menstrual cramps on my first day, and to be honest, for me they definitely work. Other people don't necessarily find that they work, but I did feel the difference not having them on my first day this time, because I wanted to stay true to Janu's routine and make sure I was doing everything right. Anyway. If you're still unsure about what the right period products are for you, I've literally just done an ultimate guide to every sustainable period product that you may ever need, and it's also very inclusive, so hopefully you can find something for you, and I will leave it down below and just here. And also don't forget to check out Janu's video to see how she got on with my period routine and to see the difficulties she had or experience she had using a menstrual cup. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.